Yeah, she was 16 when she came over from India. She was beautiful. Her family wasn't exactly poor. Some of the children had been educated, but her parents thought that an arranged marriage with work prospects was a good idea. She arrived in the UK not knowing any English and was met by some woman at the airport who took her to my father's house. My father shared a house with his brother and his brother's wife. There was a small wedding ceremony that week in the living room. That was it. She was his. You know, his paranoia started, that's what we called it, his paranoia. His paranoia started when she went to wash her hands. His brother was in the bathroom shaving, so he was naked from just to his waist. She went in, washed her hands, didn't think anything of it. My dad saw it. And he slapped her across the face for it. You see, he had this thing that she was always wanting other men, or other men wanted her. Can you imagine that? Being 16, you don't speak the language, you're illiterate, you don't really know anything about marriage, you certainly don't know anything about sex, and then within a week, you're married, you're hit, and you're raped, and the sex was painful, and it was violent, and he used to put his hand over her mouth to stop her from screaming, and then she'd faint. She just couldn't say no. He took from her what he wanted, when he wanted it. He got her a job in a factory, sewing. He took all her money though and just left her with enough for groceries. The whole idea was so she could send money back home. No chance of that. His brother? No, he didn't do a thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a cultural thing. Don't say anything. Keep it in the family. Not any of our business. You know, his family knew. They knew he wasn't right, but they still married him off. They still let him do what he did. Then he was brought over to England in his early teens, locked in a room and made to work. Is it any wonder he treated her the way he did? She tried to kill herself, you know. She tried to drown herself. She tried to run into the road. He always stopped her. You know, there's 4 of us. We're all born a year apart, and I'm the second eldest. By the time I was about 5, maybe 6, we had our own house, and we used to rent some of it out, so we had this back room. I remember that. There was a TV on the wall and this blue swirly carpet and an orange double bedspread, like all chintzy. There was this one time my mum was in the kitchen cooking chapatis, and I'd licked the back of the spoon that I was eating from. My father called me an animal, and he just attacked me, punching on, and then he locked the door so we couldn't get out. You know, the younger 2 were only toddlers. I remember my mum trying to break down the door to get to us. And then when she got in, he just attacked her, punching, scratching, biting. So then we jumped on him and we were trying to get him off her. He'd punch and he'd slap and he'd scratch. You know, one time the police came round and he'd bitten her, and the policeman said to him, "You bite like a dog." Oh, yeah. The police were called often because the neighbours would call them, but my mum always made her excuses, said it didn't matter. But she was just so scared, and we knew if she said anything, he'd kill her. My older sister Geeta got the worst of it, you know, all the emotional stuff. She soon learned not to say anything. He used to say to her, "You're staring at me like an owl." And then he'd go, "I'm going to get knitting needles and poke your eyes." One time, she got a present from Father Christmas at school, and she brought it home, and my dad demanded to know where she'd got it from. He said to my mum, "Your God, Gora means white man. Your God, I got you this." Then he beat my mum because she got a present. Geeta just sat on the end of the bed and watched him. There was another time where we got a ball between the four of us and we were playing with it inside the house, but we knocked the TV off the wall. We had to go get my dad from the park. He spent loads of time in the park, but he came back, saw it, picked me up and threw me across the room, and he was punching me and he was scratching me. He scratched my eye. If you look closely, you could probably still see I've got a scar on my eye from it. Do you know, I was bleeding because he'd scratched my back. And I went to my mum because I wanted her to look at it. She said she couldn't look because we'd only get beaten more. You know, I remember him holding my brother over the stairs by his hair, and he was saying, "I'm going to kill you. If I don't kill you, you'll kill me when you grow up." He was always sorry. You know, he'd cry and he'd hug us and he'd beg my mum not to leave. Then Geeta wrote in a school diary how Dad had tried to kill Mum, and he'd had to pin her up against the wall by the throat. And Geeta's teacher saw it, told the head. The head called my mum. Let me explain something. There's this word, is that it means honour and pride. And to go outside the family means you lose your izzat, you lose your honour, you lose your pride. So people won't marry your daughters and they won't marry your sisters. So in that community, people just didn't go to the authorities. You know, we'd had the police, we'd had social services, and we'd had the school involved. But the power of that word, it's just so hard to explain. You know, eventually, social services stepped in and said to my mum that if she didn't leave him, they'd take the kids away. I remember saying, "Sod tradition, I'm going to save my children." I'm so proud of her. You know, there were loads of false starts. We'd leave and he'd cry and he'd beg her to come back and say he'd change. But we wouldn't be back long before the violence started again. Eventually, there was one day where we were just going for a day out, but we knew when we said goodbye, we knew we weren't coming back, and we went to a refuge. After the court case, we got the house and my father wasn't allowed anywhere near. My mum, she had so many jobs. She worked in restaurants and she did deliveries. Oh, and she would sit up all night sewing. She brought all four of us up on her own. She was mum and she was dad. You know, a few years ago, she was in the supermarket and she saw somebody that she'd known from all those years ago in the bad times. She came over to her and she said, "Teri koi izzat nahi." It's Punjabi. It means you have no honour, no izzat.